Hello class. Yesterday we started solving for an unknown. We started solving linear equations for the letter x, but we could solve it for any letter. We did that through adding and subtracting. When we saw add, we subtracted. Remember, the key here is to do the opposite. When you see add, you subtract. When you see subtract, you add. The same goes for multiply and divide. When you see multiply, you're going to divide. And when we type it in our calculators, it looks like this instead of the line with the two dots. And when you see divide, remember you are going to multiply. And this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about multiplying and dividing. Before we go much further, I want to remind you that we have a variety of symbols for multiplier for times. One multiplication symbol is the x. As you can see today, we're not going to use the x because in all of our problems, x stands for a number we don't know, not for multiply. You're going to still use that button on your calculator, but on paper, we're going to symbolize x with a big dot for times, like you see here and here, or we're going to use the asterisk. And if you were to type it into Google, ask it a multiplication question, you would also use the asterisk, which is the Shift 8 key on your keyboard. So this first question we read as 3x equals 24. What this is really saying is 3 times, and see I'm using the multiplication dot there, 3 times x equals 24. The question it's asking is what number times 3 gives you 24. You might know that already, or you might use the count up method where you go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and know what that answer is. But we're going to be giving you other more complicated numbers, so we want to teach you the right method to solve this one. So we're again going to use the opposite method. When we see multiply, we're going to get there by dividing. When we see divide, we're going to get there by multiplying. So 3 times a number, we're going to divide 3. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other to keep it balanced. So I'm going to divide 3 on both sides. Now what's actually happening here is I'm making a 1. 3/3 or 3 pieces of pie out of 3 pieces of pie is really 1 whole pie. So these cancel, as you may have remembered from doing fractions when you were younger. But over here, when you cancel the 3's out, you're taking 24 and dividing it up into 3 different groups. So we use our calculator, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. But I'm not sure if that's correct. Although I used my calculator, maybe I touched the wrong button. So it's important that we check our answers. There's no reason to get these wrong, because if we check them every time, if we get them wrong, we just redo it and figure out what the correct answer is. So how do I check my answer? Our original problem said 3 times a number equals 24. Well, where that number is, I'm going to put my new answer. Where the x is, I'm going to put what equals x, 8. Now, good enough. 3 times 8 is 24. No, wait. You can't be satisfied yet. You need to actually put it into your calculator. 3 times 8 equals. Does that give you 24? Okay, it does. Then we may move on. Please make sure you're checking, not just going through the motions and writing it down. This is your chance to know that every problem you get, you'll get right, because you have the ability to redo it if you don't get it correct. So then you have a sample problem here. The sample says 4 times a number equals 36. Again, remember, we're doing the opposite. This says 4 times. The opposite of times is divide, so we're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we're left with an x there. In my calculator, I take 36 divided by 4. I get x equals, well, what'd you get? What is it? 9. Let's double check. We're going to take 4 times 9. No, seriously. 4 times 9. It's 36. Right. All right, let's move on. Here we see a fraction. Now, a fraction is a division problem. All fractions are division problems. This is read x divided by 5. It says divide. We do the opposite. What's the opposite of divide? Multiply. So we're going to use the dot here. We're going to multiply both sides by 5. 5 times x divided by 5. Well, guess what? Those 5's cancel again on this side, and we're left with x. X is on the left, the numbers are on the right. 9 times 5. Forget it, I'm going to use my calculator, and you can too. I get the answer of 45. X equals 45. Every time I see an x in this problem, this time it equals 45. Where the x is here, I have a blank. What goes there? The 45. I'm double checking my work. I'm not just writing it, but I'm actually checking it. Order matters. Top number always goes in first. Bottom number goes in second. 45. Division sign. Yes, that's a division sign. 5 equals 9. 45 divided by 5 equals 9. If it's right, I'm going to come back here and circle this answer with a heart to set my work apart. Your turn. This says x divided by 7. Do the opposite. This says divide. Yep, you're going to multiply both sides by 7. 7x here divided by 7 cancels. What does x equal? Use your calculator. No, seriously, use your calculator. 42. How do I check it? I take 42, put it up here, divide it by 7. Does it give you 6? If it does, you're going to circle your answer here with a heart. It's a weird heart, more like a turnip. Circle your answer with a turnip. Set your work apart. Have a good day. Woo.